lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan. With me, as always, my boy Dill. We're here to talk our reads of the week. Some changes have been made to what we said we were going to read. One of them is Infinite Frontier, which was not released this week. I think it got pushed back a week. So we'll be talking about that next week. We said we might talk Superman versus Lobo, but I did my boy Dill a solid. I shot him a text. I was like, don't waste your time. And that's all I'll say on that. Full disclosure. I said, don't waste your time. And that's all we'll say on that. But
I just feel like they've been doing Lobo so dirty lately.
They've been doing him fucking super dirty. But the books we are going to talk about are Cable Reloaded #1, King Spawn #1, and Echolands #1. Before we get into the books, though, I just want to say some really dope news came out yesterday. Joshua Williamson is going to be the new writer of Batman. I have been clamoring for him to be the Batman writer since Tom King was announced that he was leaving. I'm like, they got to give it to Williamson. They have to. And they didn't.
That's pretty tight.
Now they're fixing that.
You see, I forgot who teased it, but somebody teased a new character for a new Batman villain, Abyss, which is fucking trash because I had a fucking villain named Abyss, and now I can't use that name anymore because that name is so dope. You know, you can do so many things with Abyss, like the Abyss finally stares back, like But anyway. Like, that's neither here nor there. The character looks dope. The character actually looks like, whoever designed it was playing a lot of Destiny, because it looks like one of the Guardians out of Destiny. And but it looks tight. Like, I digress. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for that. Joshua Williamson is the cool
about
dude.
Time.
Right,
yeah, it's about damn time. I fucking emailed him so quick after I saw that announcement. I was like, congrats on the Batman gig. When can we chat, And he's like, I'm super slammed, but we'll do October. So, which is good because then we'll finish up Infinite Frontier. I think whatever else. I know Justice Incarnate he's going to be doing too, co-writing with Dennis Culver, same dude he's co-writing Future State Gotham with. But getting Batman, dude, it's about damn time. It is about time. And they're even bringing back the oval. Batman logo with the yellow in it. I'm like, yes, I'm here for that. So wanted to fucking shout that out real quick.
The costume looks very Batman Incorporated.
It does.
Oh no, it looks very Earth 2. It looks very. It has like a certain hinges of like the Earth 2 comic design.
Yeah, but also I think Batman Incorporated. I think you're right. I think he did have the yellow oval back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very stoked for that. But let's talk this week's books. We'll start off with Cable Reloaded by Al Ewing, Bob Quinn.
I love that guy.
I know. He can do no wrong. Hava Tartaglia is a colorist. Joe Sabino's a letterer. I really like this book, dude.
It was
a full-on fucking a 90s love
heist,
letter.
Dude. Yeah. It was a full-on 90s heist comic, and I love it.
Full on with some of the old school fucking X-Force. You got Cannonball. You have fucking Boom Boom wearing her old school costume. That was dope. Whiz Kid's in here. Cora of the Burning Heart from she's from Morocco. And then you got Lila Cheney. So it's a heist and stuff, right? And it's all tied into this Last Annihilation storyline that's crossing over between Guardians and Sword. And I think there's a couple one-shots. Like there's one next week. It's Hulkling and Wiccan. I know they're doing a Last Annihilation Wakanda one-shot too. So not a super big event, kind of very self-contained, but
that's what we need. We need self-contained events that doesn't span a whole fucking universes that like have like a billion one-shots. Like this is the kind of event that I like, where it's just where it's a few things and it's not too many characters to worry about. And I feel like since Al Ewing's kind of leading the charge, like he's kind of going on a smaller scale, smaller than what was his other shit?
Empire.
Like there's something going on a smaller scale, but I feel like this will be more potent. It gives you more time with the characters. And a hell of a way to start it off with Old Man Cable. Welcome back,
dude. I know, dude. And
welcome back.
Full on.
I was getting kind of tired of fuckboy Cable. So.
Dude, I could not stand him, dude. It just was not for me, But But I love this. It's we got Cable back with the shoulder pads, the fucking pouches. He talks about the pouches in here. It's even
like what do I keep in the pouches? Bullets.
Yeah, like he's even making fun of himself, which I really loved. And when the artist, when I had talked to him, and he's like, yeah, he's going full on 90s, like in terms of like the way that the visual, like the look of it, the pacing, like you're gonna dig it if you're a fan of that era. So, and I definitely feel that here, but it doesn't feel like it's trying to be nostalgic at all. It feels like it leans into a lot of the 90s aesthetics without feeling kind of
campy.
You know what I mean?
The 90s had a camp to it that it was very, very of its own. Like, there's a reason why a lot of people consider the 90s one of the worst eras in comics. I am not one of those people.
Neither am I, because
I love the 90s. Like it was fun. That's the thing about the 90s that people don't take away from. Like, I kind of feel like, the end of the 80s like brought this wave of like, groundbreaking comics. You had Watchmen, you had V for Vendetta, you had Dark Knight Returns, you had Mike Grell's Green Arrow, you had Longbow Hunters, you had all these like crazy, dope, like literal game-changing comics that came out at the tail end of the 80s, and then you go into the 90s where it's just like everything. Like, it's everything. It's like, I don't know. I felt like the 90s was like a crazy moment in time where not only comics, but like music and movies and everything was just like off the wall, like balls to the wall. Fuck it, we're gonna do it. Like, fuck it, we're gonna do it. We're gonna fucking do it and do it. They did. Everyone did whatever the hell they wanted.
Yeah. Look at like Demolition Man. One of my favorite movies.
Like, oh my God.
Movie. I love that fucking movie. I love it.
I still have no idea what the fucking three seashells are about, but
like, I don't either. But one day I'll learn what the three seashells are about. That was hard to say for some reason.
But anyway.
But yeah, I love the 90s. I love that like there's like even a callback to like in the opening second page, right? Cable's like standing looking out at space, and he's got those big ass fucking boots on. And Liefeld at one point had drawn him with those, and you're just like, what is that about? But they utilize it here and make it so that it's actually jet boots. It's not just regular boots that he's wearing, and that he utilizes them to get off of the spaceship as he's fucking shooting off. That it flashes back. That's right.
He was on Greymalkin.
Right. He's doing the fucking drop. Too. Yeah, he's doing the drop to the planet. And you quickly jump in to Sword, right, and how that's connected because Pretty Boy Cable was a part of Sword. He was the fucking he was a security fucking head of the security, right? And now you have Old Man Cable. He's much more suited for that fucking job, right? And he's like, I love the banter not the banter, but the conversation between him and Abigail Brand. But what I really dug was Rocket coming in and him saying like, "This will be an honor." Like, my first instinct was like, "Why the fuck is it an honor to meet Rocket?" For Cable? Like that, like what did Rocket do from this point until Cable's future that would have him have all this kind of respect
and call him sir?
Yeah,
calling Rocket sir.
Yeah,
and then he's like he's remembered as Alexander the Great, crossed with Jesse James. I'm like, what?
I know, it's awesome.
And then I'm like, and then the fact that Rocket's in a suit, I'm like, I like this. This is going places that I am really enjoying right now.
Which is cool because like this is Al Ewing is writing Guardians and he's writing Sword.
Yeah.
So he's currently writing all of the characters that take place in this book, with the exception of like Cannonball and like Boom Boom, who are a part of this new Exterminators team as they dub them.
Because X-Force is taken.
But I mean, I won't get too into the nitty gritty of this. I think you can even pick this up without reading any of the Last Annihilation stuff and totally dig this story.
I mean, I'm not even done with Sword yet. And I like, this is a great jumping on point. I'm not fully caught up, and this is a great jumping on point. Like, I have no idea what's going on as far as all that other stuff is going. But this is a fucking, I mean, literally, like the way Cable jumps off of Greymalkin 2 is a fucking metaphor for this is being a great jumping on point. Also, the overall theme of all this is all bullets, 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 bullets.
Right. Because they're trying to get a weapon.
So he literally turns into a bullet jumping off Grey Malkin. And he talks about bullets in his pouches, and they're trying to steal a big ass gun. So you can't get any more 90s than that, bro.
No, you can't at all.
It's amazing.
And I love all the characters in here are like some of them I'm not really familiar with, right? Like WizKid and fucking Lila. I don't really know that much about them. And then the chick from Morocco, but the chemistry amongst the characters was handled so well to where I'm like, I was almost expecting when I flipped to the last page that they were gonna like announce an Exterminators book. Because I would have been here for it. I would pick that book up. You know, like I really love this dynamic between the characters. I love that they now have a planet-sized super gun, and it looks like so straight out of the 90s. I mean, just everything about this, dude. I really dug the book, man. I really think that this was a fun superhero comic book. It was a fun intro to, you know, kind of just I think the space world that Ewing is pretty much spearheading all of it right now. Like, Donny Cates was doing it with his Silver Surfer, his Thanos. He wrote a Guardians book, which wasn't really my favorite, but Al Ewing's really fleshing out this space corner of the Marvel Universe. And, you know, he was doing Empire, right? So he set up all that stuff with Hulkling and Wicked, and Hulkling is now basically the ruler of the Kree Empire. And brokered peace between the Skrulls and the Kree. And then you have Sword, which ties into the X-Men line. You have Guardians. You brought fucking Doctor Doom into the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is just
nuts.
At first thought, I was like, why the fuck do that? And then I read it, and I was like, okay, Doom can go anywhere. You know, really. He can be a part of anything in the universe. And just really love the book, dude. I think it's a really fun comic, and I really dug it. It was definitely one of my favorite reads from this week.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I would have to agree. It's definitely one of my favorite reads. I give it a solid 8.5, 9.
Same. I agree.
Definitely. It was just fun. Like at the end of the day, like where it goes from here is really up in the air. I have no idea where it's gonna go, but I'm here for it, and Is this a one shot?
It's a one shot, yeah.
Oh.
I know. I was upset too. I thought it was at least a mini series when it was first announced, but I think Old Man Cable will be around for the foreseeable future. I mean, he's going to be a part of Sword. I mean, they leaned into that with this, so I think, you know, that's the logic. That's the next logical place for people to go if this was a jumping on point, is you check out Sword. Sword's only got about 6 issues out right now, so it's not too hard to catch up and read that. And I highly recommend that series. And also Guardians, pick that book up as well.
Yeah, I got to make my way through both. So there we are. Next.
So there we are.
So next we're gonna talk about fucking King, baby.
Yeah.
The fucking King. King Spawn. First and fucking foremost, I love this book.
I really dug this book. I mean, it was really good.
I love this book. Like, within the first, 4 pages, I was just like, damn, they really fucking took that extra step.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like, we haven't had new writer on Spawn in a long time. Anybody new writing it, right? Todd's been doing it for a while now. I think we had Scott Snyder stepped in with 300, wrote a story, but you know, we have Sean Lewis writing the King Spawn story. It says Todd is doing additional dialogue, and Todd did all the backup stories. Javi Fernandez is the main artist of this book on the King Spawn story. We have Steven Segovia on the Haunt story, Marcio Takar on the Nightmare story, Philip Tan on the Hero story, and Brett Booth on the Gunslinger story. And Adelso Corona, Daniel Henriquez inkers, and FCO Placencia is the colorist, with Andrew Dahlhaus, Marcelo Mialo, Peter Steigerwald, and Dave McKeag, additional colorists, and world design Tom Morzakowski on letters. The talent on this book alone, the sheer talent, is phenomenal. Every story hit for me. Yeah, I really loved.
There was not a single story where I was like, eh. Every single story. This is a fucking opener for
hell yeah.
this. I mean, Spawn Universe was the opener, obviously, but this is like the one where it was just like, okay, here, this is laying, a lot of foundation being laid, but like now it's like a real thing. Now there's something directed. It's obviously it's the war between heaven and hell, but now there's this cult. They call themselves Psalm 137, and I don't know if this psalm exists, but it's basically they keep on quoting it, and it's basically a psalm about killing children. And it's fucking nuts if you think about it. Like, like them saying that there's a psalm in the Bible that says if you fucking kill children, you will be welcomed into the gates of heaven. And
fucking
that's nuts. It's nuts to like, because the Book of Revelations is a pretty crazy thing. Like, I'm not like I said, I need to do research. I probably should have researched it while I was reading it, but I was just like too caught up in like reading it that it was absolutely crazy. And and I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna ruin because they kind of reveal what their kind of goal is, the 137, and I'm not gonna ruin that. I feel like everyone should experience this. But yeah, like this story was phenomenal. Like the art was just holy shit.
Yeah, Javi Fernandez, dude, like just from the cape, the way he draws the cape, seeing Spawn with guns again, just like bullets fucking draped over his body. Like this was a lot of fun. You get like little cameos. You got Sam and Twitch. I don't know.
I like how like Spawn can literally be everywhere now, and that's like my favorite thing. Like he's not just like focused on New York. He's literally all over the country and all over the world. Right. Like, and also their uses of so some of the research that goes into this, like how they talk about Metatron.
That's what I was really digging Metatron, because when I hear Metatron, I immediately think of Dogma.
Yeah, same.
Alan
He's
Rickman.
the voice of God, right?
Yeah, it's the first thing I think of. So I was like, as I was reading it, I was fucking reading it with Alan Rickman in mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
totally British. You're totally British. Like you're you're a hipster British dude who whispers into people's ears and heads explode.
That shit was crazy.
That shit was nuts, right?
Yeah.
And then like you said, we get Sam and Twitch, which is also fucking cool. But then like, that splash page.
Oh yeah, dude. The one right before this main story ends. Right before you flip and it's Oh yeah, it was fucking phenomenal. Yeah, I think that I'm not that familiar with Sean Lewis. Like I've read some of his stuff, so like his name being attached to the book wasn't like, oh man, hell yeah, dude, I can't wait to see what he does with Spawn. But after reading this,
now it's like, oh hell yeah. Now
I was like, okay. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait. Like I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure that I was gonna keep King Spawn as a pull, right? Like, do I need to have 4 Spawn books every month?
Yes.
The answer so far is yes. Because why am I not going to get it? You know what I mean? Like, the Gunslinger Spawn, which is, we'll talk about that in a second. I'm down for that book. I love the design of that character. And then, the team-up book, The Scorched. Yeah. I mean, like, so far, the track record have been wins for me. So why am I not going to continue to get it?
Right. It's been some fucking cool stuff. Like, and it wouldn't be a Spawn comic without the 3 perspectives of the news, right? I'll be honest, like when I first originally started reading it, that's where I took a break. I was like, it's gonna be lengthy. But the thing is about this, like that was the only lengthy part about it. Everything else didn't. Like this is a big boy. This is like what 60 something pages.
It's thick. There's multiple. Yeah, there's multiple stories. It's at least 56. I want to say
it's a big boy. And it didn't feel like that, and which is unheard of in Spawn comics because if you've been reading Spawn comics or like are you familiar with any of the earlier stuff and like even some of the later stuff or even just Spawn in general, Spawn can be a really lengthy comic in terms of like how much you have to read, but this didn't feel like that at all.
No,
like I felt like all the stories,
even the ones that Todd wrote by himself, right? Like they didn't feel that lengthy. Like I don't know. I mean, the Haunt story. I've never read Haunt. Now I mean I really want to read that book. Never read it.
I read like a couple of issues.
Yeah.
And
It's whatever. All right. Well, I mean, I still got to. I mean, it's Kirkman and McFarlane together with Capullo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
I have to check it out.
I mean, check it out. Like, maybe it gets better. Maybe it gets better, but like, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't bad. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I was too attached to like, okay. I always compared Haunt to like Spawn mixed with Venom, mixed with Spider-Man.
No, I know. Yeah, I mean that's
like,
kind of what it looks like. Even the design of the costume. I mean, I'm just saying that this story, like, I'm not. We don't have to get into the details of these stories because it's just little snapshots. But I'm intrigued. I didn't know Haunt was ever connected to the Spawn universe. I don't know if this is.
There. I think Spawn was in it like two of the issues.
Okay. All right. Cool. So yeah, I mean, this gave me enough to where like I kind of want to check the rest out. Right. Like I know the basics of Daniel Kilgore. I know a little bit about the character. I thought the Nightmare story was really cool. I love Nightmare Spawn, dude. That fucking design is just fucking
Nightmare Spawn. Insane. Nightmare Spawn has always been like one of my favorites because it's just like literally so sadistic. He's literally the abused stepson of the Spawn universe that in turn became like the most sadistic. And if you want to talk about like true utter Spawn dialogue, Nightmare Spawn is like true Spawn dialogue.
Yeah.
Like right down to the eating maggots. Like
it's insane.
I love it.
It is. I thought the hero story too was interesting. I've never seen this character. I don't know if this is new or what, but it's like
it has to be new, right?
He's kind of like a Miracle Man, Captain Marvel type character, right? Like this fucking kid turns into him, right?
Or controls him?
Or something like that. I don't know. I mean, this fucking kid is murdering, man. Yeah. Right? He's got blood everywhere.
Right.
So Comox or whatever the name is, I don't know. This was the story where like I didn't totally know what I was getting, but I kind of want to know more now. Like this has to be some sort of a new character. Yeah. I haven't seen anybody like excited, like, oh man, he's back. So, and I haven't read every Spawn comic, but that one was cool. And then
what I like at the end of the Comox story is, like always, Spawn is watching. Like that's like one of my favorite things. Like I'm telling you, him being able to access anywhere in the world at any time has been one of the best stuff because he's just like there. He's like literally the boogeyman. He's become the boogeyman, and it's like I hope that's what they do with the movie. I know Todd has alluded to that he was going to be like the movie. It's essentially going to be a Sam and Twitch movie. But
correct, yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially going to be a Sam and Twitch movie, but he's going to be the boogeyman. Either he's going to be a step ahead, he's always going to be a step in the head or in the shadows. Like I can't wait for that shit, dude. Like
I know, it's a great idea. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm here for it. Like dude, it's just gonna be dope. All you hear is the flapping of the wings and the rattle of the chains. I'm fucking here for it, bro.
Oh yeah, like, dude, that's awesome. I know. I mean, I think that this is the most I've liked Spawn in a long time, and the Spawn related universe. Like if you would have told me like 5 years ago, probably that, oh man, you're gonna be picking up like multiple Spawn books a month, I'm like, nah, there's just no way, dude. Like I don't think I could do that. But I feel like Todd, like he really like that flame got reignited in him,
yes.
Like especially with the anniversary coming with issue 300 and then bringing all this new talent into it, all these dope covers that they've been putting out. And it's like always so hard to pick and choose between them because like they're all so good. But like, and then like I said, the Gunslinger story, which is leading us into that's debuting in October.
That was fucking
me either. And then December is when the Scorch comes out. So another great addition to the Spawn universe of books. This was another great first issue. I've been really digging what Spawn's been doing. Like it's been like the main ongoing has been like there's been some moments recently, over the past few issues where I'm like, okay, it's okay. Like since 300, not great, but it's been fun. But the Spawn Universe book was dope. King Spawn, I liked even more than Spawn Universe #1. And I'm just very hyped for what we're gonna continue to get. And
I'm just so glad that like this world of characters is getting a resurgence. Like I said, this again, a revisit back to the 90s, right? A revisit back to the 90s where like Todd McFarlane literally did whatever he wanted. and like if Spawn comics were not the most the epitome of what the 90s were about as far as the comic world goes, like Spawn is it, dude. Spawn was
Image in general.
Image in general was it.
Like that was 90s.
They were like fuck it, like literal fuck it, like and
dude.
they went off and did what they wanted to do, things that they couldn't do with the big two, right?
We're less than a year away too of the anniversary, the 30th anniversary of Image. Like, I can only imagine what they're gonna do. Like, a lot of the creators haven't really like touched on it. Liefeld has been like teasing it on his podcast, on his Facebook page, like that he's gonna be doing something for the 30th. I know Jim Valentino's putting together this like Image timeline book. I don't know what that's gonna entail, but like, dude, I'm gonna let you know right now, dude. Like, I don't know if I know you're down, but we're doing a lot of Image stuff.
We're doing a lot of Image stuff next year, guys. Like, get ready.
Like, I say we even maybe take a break from the weekly reads at some points. You know what I mean? Like, maybe some weeks we don't even do that. We just talk Image because there's so much to dive into over the 30-year history. And we're not going to just talk about early Image. We'll cover the whole fucking gamut, dude. Like, even the low points. Like I say, we talk about that too because Image. If I'm sure 30 years ago there were so many people saying Image won't last a year.
Yeah.
Look at them now. You know what I mean? Like, look at Todd now. Look at the empire that Todd McFarlane has fucking done. And
look at all the media that has spawned. I use that term on purpose. That has spawned from Image Comics. I mean, some of the best things on television is from Image Comics. Some of the best things to come is coming from Image Comics. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Like it's just absolutely phenomenal, like what they've done, and like, you know, Spawn is their baby boy, so you know, for Spawn's universe of characters to have a resurgence right now, like it's very popular. Like, you know, Spawn is like, ever since 300, Spawn has become one of the more popular comics being pulled from Arsenal.
Yeah, I know. It reignited. Same with me. I think you and I jumped back on like shortly before 300.
Yeah, so I started reading like at 275 or something around the 270s. So just so I can be like, all right, I know what's going on into it, because this is going to be a big event and I don't want to miss anything. And, you know, Jason Shawn Alexander was still fucking heavy into that. So I was already down for it. So like, you know, it reignited. It's reigniting this love for a beloved character who, in recent years, he's kind of dwindled away.
Yeah.
But like not so much in popularity, because the thing is like, Spawn is always a popular character in the sense of like how many people know about him and how many people are like the general populace knows of Spawn. You know what I mean? But like as far as the comics goes, it kind of dwindled away a bit. But now it's back. It's like it's back in full force, and it's so crazy. And I'm so glad that not only are we getting like Al Simmons, but not only is Al Simmons back, we're also getting like a new character. We're getting Gunslinger. You know, we're getting this new and improved Redeemer. We're getting I didn't even know Haunt was going to be in this book.
Neither did I. They kept that. They didn't even announce that. I mean, She Spawn too. I really dig She Spawn. Like, the whole world, dude, is really dope. And I'm just so excited to see what Image does leading into this 30th. Like, the only other series that's still going is Savage Dragon. And, you know, I would jump in and out of that series over the years because it's not a book that is readily available on shelves unless you're a subscriber. And, you know, I dove back into it, and dude, I love that book. I think it's fucking fun. It was always one of my favorite Image books, you know, from the beginning, and to watch what he's done and see Liefeld is coming back. Jim Valentino announced a Shadowhawk fucking book. I don't know I think it might just be a one shot, but who gives a shit? Like, we're getting Shadowhawk back in print. So I'm here for that. I'm just, you know, whatever. Jim Lee's gone. So whatever. He's at DC. He's not doing his shit, but that doesn't matter. McFarlane's doing shit. Larson's doing shit. Valentino's doing shit. Liefeld is coming back to do something.
Let's go, Mark Silvestri. Come on, let's go.
Mark Silvestri is doing a new Darkness book.
Yes!
I backed the Kickstarter, and within that hardcover too, there's a Darkness half issue that's leading into a new series. Now I don't know if Silvestri's gonna draw the entire book. I know he drew the half issue, so I mean I love that character, dude. So like, there's a lot of stuff, dude. A lot of stuff Image is doing that to be excited for, and I can't wait for all
I
of it.
fucking love the Darkness. I
Yeah.
love Witchblade.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. But
like, let's
yeah,
go. Let's
I
fucking
know. I'm
go.
excited. And speaking of like really, awesome Image stuff, another awesome Image debut, over 10 years in the making. Echolands by J.H. Williams III, W. Hayden Blackman, Dave Stewart, Todd Klein. Fucking all-star creative team. This is the same creative team that fucking put together that fucking Batwoman comic book after Greg Rucka left. That was phenomenal. Now, this book was announced a long time ago, dude. I think he even briefly mentioned it in the written interview I did with him fucking over 3 years ago. And it still didn't have a set date. Well, let me tell you something. There's very few books that take a long time that can deliver. And this fucking book was well worth the wait. It delivered. Breathtaking is like, if you asked me to describe it in one word, breathtaking would be what I would say. Look, I mean, even from the format, dude, it's widescreen, and anybody that knows J.H. Williams III knows that he is one of the most dynamic artists, not only in the game today, but I would say in the history of comic books. Okay, one of the all-time greats, and playing with panel structure, playing with the way visually, like what he does, like Promethea that he did with Alan Moore, is a prime example, and he's only gotten better. So I will not get too much into the story, because I think that you need to. This is one of those books you want to experience.
This is experience.
But I think that the fantasy elements, you kind of have, it's like a revenge story. You got this like Red Riding Hood type character. She's the main protagonist, and he plays with different mediums even. Like you'll have, like, that's what I fucking really love.
Bro, this is an artist's book. Like, the art in this blew me away. Like, I this is an experience. This is something, like, we say that a lot. This is something you have to experience, but like this is literally, I mean, even right down, okay, even when you get to the start of the story, how everything kind of flows from the cape, and then all of a sudden the box itself is shaped like a number 1, like boom, issue 1. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's free flowing, it's fucking kinetic, like literally the use of different mediums, like, it gives me the sense that this world that this takes place in is like an amalgamation of like all fantasy worlds, right?
That's what I was thinking too. That's what I was just gonna say.
It's an amount, it's so Red might actually be Red Riding Hood, but like a different version of Red Riding Hood, because like in the second I'm just, they're all splash pages. So in the second splash page, like, you have like a like a cut, like, like a newspaper cutout of Frankenstein. Then you have like an old school, like, very pulpy freaking spaceman eating a taco, and like then there's an archer elf with like a bag of cabbage that looks watercolor painted. Like, this is, and it's all like within like 2 pages. It's not like it transfers into different mediums as you go along, right? But like, it's literally within the same panels as the intended art. So this is an artist's book. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's just so much to pour over the level of detail, the level of craft that went into this. Like, it's unlike anything on the stands right now. I was just completely blown away. I didn't even message you after I read it, because I didn't I didn't know when you were going to read it. I wanted you to read it yourself, and then I wanted to wait until we talked on here, because I read it Tuesday morning, right? So like, I didn't want to read it when I was too tired. I saved it for.
I actually read it on Sunday.
Oh, you read the PDF? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I read the PDF. I have the physical. I bought the physical, obviously, but like,
yeah.
I read the PDF. I couldn't wait because like I was like, damn, we got a lot to fucking read. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, we got a lot to fucking read. And then I read it and I was like, oh man, we gotta talk about this.
I know. I mean, just cool the shit. Packaging, the cardstock cover, the gloss on it, the fucking the track listing or the albums that he left. It's not even tracks. These are fucking albums.
Yeah.
4 pages of albums that J.H. Williams was listening to while working on this.
And what's great about it is it ranges so hard, right?
Yeah.
You have Neil Young, and then you have David Bowie, and then Ennio Morricone. Like all of a sudden,
White Stripes.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then
Styx,
him, and
Mastodon, dude. Like
Mastodon, bro.
Yeah, come on.
Blue Oyster Cult, like.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
The Who.
The Cars, yeah.
A Perfect Circle, which is like one of my Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, come on, dude. I mean, it's just like it helps you get into his head in a way that like is more than just like, oh, here's some tracks. Like, no, this dude was like creating a world and listen to this wide, like you said, amalgamation of like different fantasy. This is an amalgamation of music, like that's.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the Rock Cut edition. Like, I'm definitely getting that. Like,
oh fuck yeah.
I have an affinity for black and white. Like,
same here.
Sometimes I feel like I'm not saying that this is that this in color is bad, but I have an affinity for things in black and white that I feel like I need to own the black and white one. Especially in that one, especially when they show that one panel with the explosion, but the explosion itself is just in black and white when everything else in the page is like fucking just full of color.
Yeah, I know. It's a sight to behold.
It is. This is an experience. This is amazing stuff. This is is this a monthly?
Yeah.
Because if it is, this is easily going on my pull. I can't wait, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I
I suggest everybody go get this. Like, I don't think that there's a certain like type of reader that needs to that would have an affinity for this. This is one of those comics that I feel like people are going to talk about for years to come.
Yeah.
This is groundbreaking stuff, and like you don't get to see you don't hear a lot of people saying that about first issues.
Yeah, but and the thing is though, is J.H. Williams has been doing this for years, dude. Playing with his art, like he has been fucking like. If you pick this book up off the stands and you haven't read Promethea, or you haven't read the Batwoman book that he did, or you haven't read any of the other things he did some. I think he did a Batman storyline on Grant Morrison's run. Like, he is, in my opinion, one of the top 5 artists living today. You know what I mean? Like, the reason I may not talk about him as much is because he is not doing as much work. But when he does, man, it's like when one of your favorite fucking bands, your favorite artist, like drops an album, but they're not the type of artist that drops an album yearly. You know?
Yeah.
You just get that one. And you're just like, my God, that was perfection. You know, like, that's what this is. To me, this is a perfect comic. This is a 10 out of 10. If I could give it higher than a 10, I would. Yeah. I was popping up behind that desk yesterday all day. I'm like, you got to buy that book. You have to buy this book.
Yeah, no, this is every week there's always that one book that we're going to suggest to people, especially if they don't pick it up. But this is that book. This is that book that I'm going to keep on suggesting while we have it in stock. I'm going to keep on suggesting when we get the second prints. I'm going to suggest when we get the black and white, raw and uncut version. I'm going to keep on suggesting it. This is, it's crazy. It's crazy to when The Walking Dead started, it was just The Walking Dead, right? The first issue, it was great, but it wasn't like, oh, it's going to be one of those comics. It's going to go on for as long as it did and spawn what it did, give birth to all this multimedia stuff, or even Paper Girls, or even, I don't know, any one of those comics that's like gonna be like Saga is going to live on. It's like these comics are going to live on forever. But this, I can tell you right now, this is going to be one of those comics that's going to be like that and to be regarded in that degree. This is fucking amazing shit.
For sure.
Holy shit. Like I said, like you said, like this is 20 out of 10. I was blown away by this book. 100%.
Yeah.
Blown away. Holy crap. I want to own every version of issue 1.
I know. I think I took a picture of it and put it in the kayfabe Facebook group. Like right after I read it on Tuesday, I'm like, if there's one book you pick up this week, this needs to be it. Breathtaking. You know, I think that's all I said. I didn't want to get too into it. I didn't take pictures of the inside of the book, especially with the talent that he's worked with in terms of writers, Grant Morris and Alan Moore, right? Those are two of the best writers that have ever written a comic book.
Literal wizards.
Yeah, and you know that he's pulled stuff and they've helped elevate his art because they pulled out the best from him, right? In the work that he did. And he's just continuing. And I think that he's a fantastic storyteller. I think that his design work is fucking amazing. His level of craft in terms of like mixing medias, panel structure. I mean, he plays with stuff that like no other artist is doing. I think that this is, you know, I won't say anything else about it. Just go up. It was the best book that came out this week. It was the best book that came out this month. It might be the best single issue that's come out this year. You know what I mean? Like, if this doesn't win an Eisner, I will be absolutely shocked.
If it doesn't get nominated for multiple Eisners and win a couple of those multiple nominations, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, this is just hands down best book.
Yeah,
best in 2021 already, and it's only one issue. So definitely check it out. Everybody listening, everybody watching, go pick up that book. That's all I got on that. Go pick up the other books. Also really good. But Echolands is where it's at.
Echolands. It's some phenomenal stuff. I can't believe it's fucking dope, dude. I can't.
I know. And you were like, "What's Echolands?" You're like, "What's
Echolands? What is this?" Like, you know what's great? Like when it was like Red Riding Hood, I instantly was like, "Oh man!" Like it kind of hit me in the gut with like some nostalgia Fables feels, right? Like, and then it wasn't that.
Yeah, it's
I
can't wait for the next issue. But so next week, kind of light in terms of there's not a lot of number ones. There's, you know, stuff middle of arcs. I want to throw out some suggestions. One, I know you're gonna be all about Dark Ages number 1. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that off top.
Okay. I already said it.
What's great about Dark Ages? It's not canon, so Tom Taylor could do what he wants. This is essentially yeah. this is Tom Taylor's Marvel Deceased.
Yeah, and then I already said Infinite Frontier number 5 we're gonna talk about because that didn't come out this past week. I was thinking the Aquaman 80th would be cool to talk about.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for that.
Let's
do those three. Let's do those 3, and if anything should pop up, we'll put it in later. But like, Aquaman was like it's a heavy hitter 100 pager.
Okay.
So,
yeah. We'll just do Aquaman 80th, Infinite Frontier 5, Dark Ages number 1 for next week. I think that's plenty to talk about. And like I said, that's all I have for this week. And if you're not already following us, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Comic Lounge. Follow Dylan at The Dillbot on Instagram. Dillbot is dope on Twitter. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid goes up. Throw some comments down below. Let us know your thoughts on the books we read too. I never say that, but we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. TeePublic link is down below as well, so you get some Comic Lounge merch. And on that note, we're out.
Later, buds.